You wake up determined, drink your water, hold off on adding anything to your coffee ... and you feel confident that you're fasting perfectly. But what if I told you that many of the foods you believe are harmless are actually without you even realizing, completely breaking your fast and sabotaging your metabolism? Studies show that up to 70% of people practicing intermittent fasting consume foods that trigger insulin without knowing it. And for women over 40, this can be even more critical. Just one small dietary mistake can undo all your hard work. Does this sound like you? You're trying to lose weight, manage anxiety, balance your hormones, and even though you're fasting, you're still not seeing results? The issue may lie in those innocent foods that seem healthy, light, or even fit, but actually activate digestive processes and pull your body out of a fasted state. Today, you're going to discover which foods are the real culprits, why they interfere with fasting, how they specifically impact the female body after 40, and what you can do to avoid them for good. But before we dive in, make sure to like this video, share it with other women who are also fasting, and subscribe to the channel. This information could literally change the way you fast and the results you achieve. What does it really mean to break a fast? When we say break a fast, most people think it just means eating. But the truth is, breaking a fast doesn't only happen when you choose something. It happens when you trigger metabolic processes in the body that take you out of the fasted state. And that can happen with just a sip, a spoonful, or a healthy little snack. From a metabolic perspective, fasting is a state in which your body isn't receiving calories or significant hormonal stimuli. In this state, it activates deep cellular repair processes, reduces inflammation, burns fat for energy, and balances key hormones like insulin, growth hormone, GH, and leptin. But all of this can be interrupted the moment you consume something that stimulates digestion, spikes insulin, or raises your blood sugar. And here's the alarming part. For women over 40, this effect is even stronger. Our bodies become more sensitive to even the smallest stimuli, our metabolism reacts more intensely, and even a minor slip can stall fat burning and increase insulin resistance. In other words, breaking your fast means triggering any physiological response that pulls your body out of that state of metabolic balance and deep repair. And many foods that seem harmless do exactly that, silently and repeatedly, every single day. Liquid foods that break your fast and confuse a lot of people. When people think of fasting, the first thing that comes to mind is often, I can drink anything, right? And that's exactly where one of the biggest traps lies. Not every liquid is fasting friendly. Many seem light, natural, or healthy, but they completely break your fast. Let's start with one of the most popular examples, bone broth. It's rich in collagen, minerals, and highly nutritious. But yes, it does break your fast. Why? Because it contains calories, amino acids, and stimulates digestion. If your goal is to maintain a metabolic fast, bone broth should be saved for your eating window, not consumed while fasting. Another common offender is the beloved detox juice in the morning. It might seem healthy, made with fruits or vegetables, but just the presence of natural fructose and glucose is enough to stimulate insulin, and disrupt processes like autophagy and fat burning, which are key benefits of fasting. And what about those morning lemon shots with turmeric, ginger, or honey? If it's just plain lemon, unsweetened, and in very small amounts, the impact is minimal. But many of these shots include honey, propolis, pepper, and other ingredients that activate liver metabolism and digestion, fully breaking the fast. Also need to talk about plant-based milks, like almond, oat, or coconut milk. If they're 100% pure with no added sugar or protein, the impact might be small. But in reality, most contain additives like honey, coconut sugar, or protein extracts, and that absolutely breaks your fast. And finally, one of the most underestimated culprits, light soups and veggie broths. They might seem like flavored water, but they often contain soluble fiber, sugars from vegetables, and even fats, more than enough to pull your body out of fasting mode. So in short, liquid does not mean clean fasting. Many of these liquid foods quietly sabotage your fasting. Strategy: every single day, solid foods that break your fast, even in small amounts. Now you might be thinking, okay, I get the liquid stuff. But what about a little nut here and there? Or a spoonful of granola just to hold me over? The truth is, these small solid snacks are more dangerous than they seem, and for women over 40, the effects can be even more intense. Let's start with nuts and seeds. They're rich in healthy fats, fiber, and minerals. Are they healthy? Absolutely. But even 1 or 2 pieces contain enough calories to activate digestive enzymes and trigger insulin. That's enough to completely disrupt your metabolic fast. Another sneaky culprit: dried fruits like apricots, raisins, and dates. These are packed with concentrated fructose and cause quick spikes in blood sugar and insulin. And even worse, many people add just 1 to their yogurt, which, by the way, also breaks your fast. And what about that tiny square of dark chocolate just to curb cravings? Even if it's 70% cocoa or more, it still contains sugar and fat. It's a complete food, and your body knows it. Your fast ends right there. Other common examples include oats, sugar-free granola, natural bars, nut butter, or even a piece of fresh fruit. These may look light or healthy, but they stimulate digestion, raise insulin, and halt the body's repair and fat-burning processes. The main takeaway here is, it doesn't matter if it's just a little bit, or if it's labeled as healthy. Any solid food breaks your fast. And for women over 40, even tiny triggers can have significant metabolic consequences. Fit combos that seem healthy but completely break your fast. You've probably seen or even made those mixes that look perfect for health-conscious women. Coffee with coconut oil, plant-based milk with collagen, or even avocado with lemon and chia. It all sounds functional, natural, and clean. But here's the truth: these combos break your fast. And worse, they break it completely. Let's start with the most talked about drink, bulletproof coffee, made with black coffee, coconut oil or MCT oil, and ghee butter. This drink became popular among fasting and low-carb communities, but let's be honest, it breaks your fast entirely. While it may not spike blood sugar, it activates digestion, stimulates the liver and pancreas, and that's enough to pull your body out of its metabolic repair mode. Another common trap: plant-based milk with cacao, cinnamon, or collagen. It sounds light and nourishing, but if the milk contains any added sugar or protein, that's already enough to trigger an insulin response. And collagen, while great for your skin and joints, activates protein digestion, ending your fast on the spot. Some people even eat avocado with lemon or chia, thinking it's a healthy little snack. And it is, just not during a fast. Avocado is rich in fat and calories, and eating it activates digestive enzymes. In other words, your metabolic fast is over. These mixes aren't villains by themselves. During your eating window, they can be fantastic. But during a fast, they confuse your body, activate processes that should be off, and block the real benefits of fasting. The worst times to consume foods that break a fast. Not every slip has the same impact, and this is especially true when it comes to breaking your fast at the most sensitive times of day. For women over 40, your body behaves differently throughout the day, and understanding this can help you avoid silent sabotage. In the morning, your body is still adjusting after sleep. At this time, insulin sensitivity tends to be higher, meaning any food you eat is more likely to cause a blood sugar spike and fat storage. In other words, if you break your fast early with the wrong food, you're magnifying the negative effect. Now, think about late afternoon or early evening. This is when your metabolism naturally starts to slow down. The hormones that help digestion and calorie burning begin to drop while your body prepares for rest. Eating something caloric, even a small bite, during this time can make things worse. Trouble sleeping, more fat storage, and greater insulin resistance. There's also the emotional side of these hours. In the morning, many women break their fast due to anxiety. At night, it's often due to exhaustion or craving comfort. These emotionally vulnerable moments, combined with the metabolic effects, make these the worst times to make fasting mistakes. So if you are going to break your fast, do it consciously and strategically. Ideally, choose a moment of emotional stability and foods that truly support your health. Especially after 40, your body responds much better when you respect its rhythm. The emotional impact of breaking your fast. Fasting requires more than dietary discipline. It demands emotional balance. And for many women, especially after 40, the biggest obstacle isn't what's on the plate. It's the guilt that comes after a slip-up. Have you been there? You broke your fast on impulse, out of anxiety, or simply because you didn't know better. And then came that sinking feeling of failure. It's like all your effort went down the drain. Your mind starts to sabotage you. You're not capable. You'll never succeed. You already messed up, so what's the point? But here's an important truth. Making mistakes is part of the process. And being able to restart with compassion and grace, that's what truly keeps you moving forward. When you feel guilt, your body produces cortisol, the stress hormone. And excess cortisol, especially in women 40 plus, can lead to belly fat gain, insulin resistance, and even binge eating. In other words, the guilt itself can be just as harmful as the food that broke your fast. That's why instead of judging yourself, try to see the mistake as information. What made you eat? Was it real hunger, emotional, lack of clarity? The more awareness you bring to the moment, the less likely you are to repeat it. A woman's strength doesn't lie in never failing. It lies in acknowledging the misstep with kindness, adjusting the course, and continuing with even more wisdom. How to build a clean and sustainable fasting plan for women 40 plus. Now that you understand what breaks a fast, when these slips are most harmful, and how to handle the emotions involved, it's time to build a practical, realistic strategy, a fasting plan that's clean, effective, and most importantly, sustainable for women over 40. It all starts before the fast even begins, with your last meal the day before. Focus on foods that promote satiety and hormonal stability, like lean proteins, healthy fats such as olive oil, avocado, and eggs, and fiber-rich vegetables. This lowers the risk of intense hunger in the early hours of your fast. During the fast, the golden rule is simplicity. Stick to plain water, unsweetened tea, and black coffee with nothing added. No collagen, coconut oil, plant-based milks, or broths. The cleaner your fast, the greater the metabolic, hormonal, and anti-inflammatory benefits. When it's time to break your fast, forget the idea of making up for lost time with a heavy meal. Start with something light and easy to digest. A source of protein, some cooked veggies, a touch of healthy fat. Give your body time to adjust, and if needed, add some high-quality carbs like root vegetables or brown rice. Another key point, respect your rhythm. There's no one-size-fits-all fasting protocol. Maybe it's 14 hours, 16 hours, or alternate day fasting. What works is what you can maintain consistently and emotionally balanced. Your fasting schedule should fit your life, not the other way around. And remember, the body of a woman over 40 is powerful, but it also deserves respect. When you fast with knowledge, compassion, and strategy, your body rewards you with more energy, mental clarity, less inflammation, and greater ease in daily life. If you've made it this far, you've already taken a huge step toward a more conscious, effective fasting practice that aligns with your phase of life. Now you know that not every food is what it seems, and that many innocent choices silently break your fast, keeping your body from enjoying the full benefits of this powerful lifestyle. You learn that liquids like broths, juices, and wellness shots may seem light, but actually trigger digestion and insulin. That solid foods, even in small amounts, like dried fruit, nuts, and chocolate, can also kick your body out of fasting mode. And that even the most popular fit combinations, like bulletproof coffee or collagen with plant milk, can shut down your metabolic fast. We also explored why timing matters, how the female body 40 reacts more intensely to stimuli, and that slip-ups don't need to bring guilt, they're learning moments. Now, you've got clarity, structure, and a practical plan to maintain a clean, sustainable fast, one that respects your schedule, your body, and your journey. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Was there something you used to eat thinking it didn't break your fast? Share in the comments below. Your question might be the same as thousands of other women out there. If this content helped you, hit the like button, share it with other women who fast, and subscribe to the channel. Together, we turn information into empowerment, and fasting into a real path to longevity, balance, and freedom.